When identifying former brothels located within the district of Ballard in Seattle, one element is generally consistent. Most of the buildings with multiple stories once employed the upper levels for undocumented business transactions involving sex workers. Two such buildings have an early history of questionable lineage. The first is the former Fremont Saloon. It currently operates as the Little Ten Goods Apothecary Cabinet. The evolution is radically different from the past, as the present bar is tastefully decorated and a congenial meeting location for locals and tourists. This change is markedly different from the various blue-collar incarnations preceding it. Constructed in 1905, the original Fremont Saloon was initially owned by John Bavary, who also owned the adjacent older building at 5333 Ballard Avenue. Barber Lewis Anderson operated the saloon at this location and possibly the next door building between 1902 and Prohibition. Ownership changed hands to John Bavary in 1909 and major roofing repairs were undertaken. After Prohibition, the ground floor operated as the Quinlong Furniture and Hardware Company until the late 1930s. Throughout this entire era, the second floor functioned as 4 small apartments with a single bathroom and tub. William Coors and Robert Wegener became business associates in 1889, the year of Seattle's Great Fire. They initially established the Ballard Wine House on the corner of Ballard and 20th Avenue Northwest in 1893. Their questionable location, called the Wagoner Block, served a thriving saloon clientele and was promotionally described as artists in compound mixtures and fancy beverages. The upper floor level featured a separate entrance and private room for women. The wood frame commercial construction was designed in the Beaux-Arts and neoclassical style with notable architectural facade trimmings. By 1904, the upper level was employed by the Ballard News, an early local newspaper operated by J.D. Ruffner and his sons. The Ruffners later moved the newspaper offices and printing plant to the R.J. Hudson block on Market Street. Robert Wegener owned the building for several decades, leasing the ground level to Adolph A. Johnson in 1915, who operated a saloon. Subsequent storefront businesses have included Jeff's Place, 1937, M. Moritz & Sons, 1937, and a Chinese restaurant, 1960s. Today, the Coors and Wegener building is the most recent location for a shop called Root, concentrating on interior design, staging, and high-end coffee distribution. A very different identity than a century and a quarter ago.